What if I told you there was a fighting game so good that you would never want to go back to any other fighter game in the genre? A game so easy to pick up and so in-depth in techniques to learn. A game with modding support so dense, you could have damn near any character in fiction facing off against anyone. Don't believe me? Well, today I'd like to share one with you. A game so criminally underrated that it deserves widespread recognition. This is a video about YOMI Hustle. Real quick before we begin, I'm currently the algorithm's bitch, so please consider subscribing. If you end up not liking my video, you can always take it back. Around a year ago, a friend of mine sent me a link to a website to a beta build of a game called Your Only Move is Hustle, or YOMI Hustle as I'll be calling it for the rest of the video. At a first glance, I didn't think much of it. A fighting game with unique characters, each with their own specialty, each character has their own moves, some hit low, some hit high, some are projectiles, and each take a certain amount of frames to execute. Wait, frames? That was the exact moment I realized just how incredible this game was. You remember those old stick fight animations that were really popular here on YouTube? You've probably seen a couple more recently, as there's still a prevalent animation theme. Well, imagine if you turned those animations into a turn-based fighting game. Both players make their moves at the exact same time. Each move has a certain amount of frames required to fully execute, and if you hit your opponent, you start a combo that ends with either the combo being interrupted or your opponent dying. When the fight ends, the game replays the entire fight at full speed, 60 frames per second. Now, this on its own is already a cool-ass concept for any game. However, whenever I talk to my friends about YOMI, I always describe it as having the aspects of a chess game. I know that sounds kinda weird, so here's my reasoning. In chess, it's a constant battle of thinking multiple moves ahead, but also keeping in mind that your opponent is doing the same and playing accordingly. The same applies to YOMI Hustle. Let me give you an example. My opponent and I just started a game. I have a couple different moves to choose from, anything from a horizontal slice, an ankle cutter, or even dashing backward. However, my opponent is also mentally present and is having the exact same train of thought. I could start off with a horizontal slice, but that gives my opponent a chance to block and possibly parry my slice, giving them a free turn. So, because we're in neutral, my first move should depend on how my opponent plays, and on turn 1, that's impossible to know. In my experience, because each YOMI player has their own preferences and how they engage, you kind of have to feel out their intentions move by move so you can gain an understanding for how they play and adapt accordingly. But hey, worst case scenario, I get stuck in a combo for an hour, so I might as well go for horizontal. Shit, he jumped. What do I do? That's the basic fundamental of YOMI Hustle. It's a push and pull battle of adapting to your opponent and playing how you feel comfortable. But each character has their own niche and works in their own special way, so I'm gonna go over each of them for just a quick minute. Ninja is the first listed character on the roster, and if I had to rank him in difficulty, he sits at around 4th place. Not the easiest, but definitely far from the hardest. Most of his kit is centered around speed, hitting things quick with a firm amount of power. His main gimmicks include sharp rock, spiky rocks, kunai throwing rock, rock teleportation, nunchucks, and a grappling hook. He's a threat at close or medium range and has acceptable zoning capabilities and can close in quick if you don't keep an eye on him. Cowboy's up next, and god, I love this guy. Any character whose gimmick is just guy with gun is an instant love in my heart. As far as complexity goes, I'd call him the easiest of the bunch, 5th place. Although with a certain beverage, I have a feeling competitive players might disagree. Cowboy's tech amounts to gun, gun with time powers, gun with rope, teleportation, delayed teleportation, or horse if you have a certain mod installed, and last but not least, a sword. Because yes, we had to make guy with gun just that much cooler. Cowboy is your all-rounder. He's good at close range, good at medium, and still a threat at long range. Wizard's the next one in the lineup, and I have 2 words. Fucking projectiles. If you're the kind of person that likes playing at range and hates when someone breathes too loud in your personal space, this is your guy. He has control over the elements, he can fly, summon an orb, and has mobility that makes ninja players cower in a corner. I think he sits around 3rd place in the difficulty totem pole. He's not hard to play, but if you're going against someone competent, it can be a challenge. By the way, honorable mention to the melee wizards, you guys weird me the fuck out. Now, if you're the kind of person that likes being tanky as shit and attacking just as hard, Robot's your pick. This guy has super armor, flight, and enough explosive ordnance to make the American military jealous. That on its own is already terrifying, but like I said, this guy hits really hard, and if he manages to grab you, he has a move called Kill Process, which if you have 9 bars of super, literally just outright kills your opponent. However, that does not mean that this guy's easy to play. Robot's kit is intensive because playing him feels like learning an engineering degree. However, he's not my pick for the hardest class. That honor belongs to Mutant. Now, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I have no idea how to play this guy. Aside from the fact that his special moves mostly relate to some kind of acid, I don't know how to describe him. I went looking on a wiki to find out what to say, but all I really learned is that he's colloquially known as the Slop Man. His attacks are pretty specific in a lot of situations, and it's hard to keep combos going considering his opponent can literally just DI out of it 90% of the time. Could be that I just can't crack him, but I find Mutant to be the hardest to play. Alright, so we know our cast and we have a basic idea of how the game works. It's at this point now that I want to give an in-depth example of why the combat in this game is so good, and to do that, I need a guinea pig.
I've been summoned.
Alright, 2 weeks ago, Blue decided that he wanted to play cowboy in this encounter, and I wish to do the same. I'll be popping in here and there to explain my thought process so you can see firsthand how this game runs. Here we go. This is gonna be a great game, I can tell.
So you said this game was something about predicting moves or whatever?
You don't have to pretend like it's your first time playing.
you know, I don't, what do all these buttons do?
We've been playing this game for a year, don't give me that.
I don't know, let's do that, I guess. Maybe that'll do something.
Ah, fuck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's bad news, bears.
Hope Wheel doesn't save you. Pommel here.
Yeah, there's the lightning slice, yup.
And then the good
Oh my god, you can teleport. Oh no. I was gonna say the impel doesn't work as well.
No, I'm gonna start employing a tactic you're gonna hate. You're not gonna like this one, Chief.
Listen, I sincerely disagree personally. There's no getting out of this. I have nothing. I have nothing.
I'm tired of this blocking, old man.
Just block and parry until I can get out. Like, I can't get out. This is stupid.
I give you one move.
Yes!
There you go.
Oh, thank God.
There you go. There's your one move.
I was gonna say, even if you grabbed, like, it would have split us apart just a little bit. I would have had some time. I'm gonna go for it. We'll see what happens. Okay, so right now I'm stuck in a corner, and it's more than likely that I'm gonna fail a prediction and end up getting hit, so I'd rather force Blue to make the prediction instead of me. On the turn just before this, I managed to get my foresight just behind him, and I'm stuck holding a gun because of my quick draw. So instead of shooting a bullet in front of him that he could deflect, I'd rather teleport behind him and shoot him in the back. Huge!
Yes, come in closer. Get hit by your bullet.
Nah, I'm good. No, fuck, I was really hoping you wouldn't. I didn't think you would.
Come on.
Dumbass. Yeah, no, stop that.
You don't know how to manipulate the cope wheel as good as I.
I'm gonna keep this combo going for as long as I can. Damn, I understand now.
I just figured something out.
Huh.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you, but I figured something out.
Ah, come on. Don't you want to be cool?
Get the fuck down.
That's a problem. Damn.
You got too close into pommeling distance. You made a grave mistake.
Clearly.
You're staying with me.
Am I? So, with me being stuck in a combo right now, I think it's a good time to explain the DI wheel. The directional input wheel is a way to manipulate your character's momentum when moving or getting hit by something, and when you're in a combo, it's ludicrously useful to get out of range. In this instance, I was moving it in random directions in the hope of confusing him and getting out of his way, which led to me going straight upwards. Bye!
Bye.
To the moon!
Not yet. Come with me.
Oh, what? This is why I need to look at the moves, instead of moving within 3 seconds. Yeah, there's the lightning slice. Oof. I think this might be game.
You've got a friend in me.
Uh-oh. Not the Azuna drop, no.
You've got a friend in me.
Oh, God.
Be my friend.
No.
So I can smell, I can smell an ankle cut, but you see, I'm just gonna shoot at the ground.
Don't tell me what I'm gonna do. I was literally looking at it. You're like, I smell an ankle cut. Shut up.
Alright, so you're gonna try to block.
I mean, I don't really have a choice.
And then you're gonna try to get closer, so I'm gonna shoot again.
Oh god, you didn't holster. Oh no.
And you see, since you're so low on health, I'm just gonna keep shooting you till you die. Of course, if you used horizontal slash, you could have gotten me out of my shooting stance.
I tried. I couldn't. It had too low of a frame count. You would have hit me. Alright, last interjection. As you can see, Blue and I are a decent distance away from each other. No melee attack is going to land right now. Most of Cowboy's ranged tech is limited to throwables, which means if I teleport right in front of his face, that projectile is likely going to be behind me by the time I get there. Unfortunately, as mentioned, Blue and I have been playing this game for a year now, and at this point, he knows that I'm likely gonna go in for a hug. In hindsight, I need to stop doing this as often, but with proper frame timing, it allows Blue to go in for the kill. No! God!
Nice combo there. Nice combo there, though.
Oh, it was going great. I thought I had, like, I thought I lost you several times there, but... God, I was trying everything to stay alive. I just couldn't.
You got too close, and that pistol whip was just too good of a chance to throw away. You know?
I was trying so hard. I was thinking, alright, I'm gonna teleport in front of him. I'm gonna be within pommel range, but it's okay because my grab's gonna land first. It's gonna be fine. All is gonna be well. Yeah, I got beaten pretty badly, but that doesn't mean I didn't get him back in good damage. Yomi's gameplay amounts to previewing your opponent's moves, thinking about which move your opponent will do, and moving yourself according to how your opponent plays. So yeah, my opponent could make a horizontal slice within 2 seconds, but I can take my full 2 minutes of turn time to deduce all the possibilities, narrow down the most likely decision, and move accordingly. Now, think about how that goes for every turn. That is why landing a parry against some random person feels more euphoric than lowballing on Facebook Marketplace. So yeah, that's what a game of YOMI Hustle looks like. Chaotic, strategic, and everything in between. However, I have one last topic to cover, because if I didn't mention this, I'd have to kick my own ass. If you haven't noticed, the character roster, albeit diverse, is a little lacking. I mean, come on, Smash Bros. Ultimate has just shy of 90 playable characters, meanwhile this game has just 5? Like, yeah, it's an indie game, but shouldn't there be an easy solution to this? Just add configs and a framework for the Steam Workshop, and you could just add mods. Yes, because this game wasn't peak enough. Modding is a thing you can do. Creators have added so many characters from different games and anime that this game may as well have just been turned into Super Smash Flash. Ever wanted to play as Mario and Luigi from the Superstar Saga games? Try Yomi Jam. Ever wanted to play as Kirby from the hit game Kirby? Kirby. Ever wanted to play as an anime character with an IQ of 530,000 and canonical schizophrenia? Okay, yeah, you get the point. Look, the modding in this game is amazing. There's background art, texture redesigns, and as I've made it clear by now, whole-ass characters with their own dedicated movesets and gimmicks. And don't get me wrong, player-led modding commonly creates characters that are ungodly overpowered. Yomi is no different. But regardless of who you're playing against, both players have to have a mod installed in order for either player to be able to pick that specific character. So once you curate a decent mod list for yourself, you'll never have to see characters you don't like fighting against. Now, quick aside here, there are 2 modded characters that I want to talk about that I think everyone should have installed, even though they're complete shitposts. First off is YOMI Fly. It's literally just a fly. It has the smallest possible hitbox, can fly, block, and dodge, and has 1 HP. The upside? Robots kill process. If you can dodge long enough to build up enough meter, you can kill your opponent with a single attack, but one wrong move, one wrong prediction will send you back to the character selection, so you gotta think real hard about what you're doing. The second mod? A fucking fish. It's a fish. It has no moves. 10 out of 10 would flop around again. Alright, I think I've given a good enough overview by this point, meaning I finally get to talk about my favorite mod. Did I add in this whole section just to talk about this character? Yeah, probably. It's not overpowered, far from it in my honest opinion, but god, any match with this character is just fucking awesome, and I want to talk about it. Say hello to Aoi Todo. For those of you unfortunate souls who haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen, Aoi Todo is a powerful character that can swap the positions of 2 targets upon clapping his hands. Explaining what counts as a target would require me explaining the whole premise of JJK, so I'll dumb it down to what matters. When playing as Todo, selecting Boogie Woogie will swap your position for the current position of your opponent. If Todo throws a rock, Todo can either swap his position with the rock or swap his opponent with the rock. That's Todo's entire gimmick aside from his 2 specials. Either hit something really hard or utilize schizophrenia to also hit something really hard. Now that on its own adds a lot of interesting combo potential, which is stuff that I've been experimenting with a ton over the time of me playing. But his regular moves are also really good to use. I tend to just straight up abuse slap half the time. It's a 4-frame action that has a pretty short range, but you can chain it with a bunch of other moves to try and keep your opponent from DIing out of it quickly. Also important to mention, every time Todo swaps positions with something, there's an audible clap that plays. This leads to an extra fun move, literally just called clap. At first, it just seemed like a different hustle option to me, until when making this video, I realized that it forces your opponent to turn around even if they're mid-action. This makes Todo sound kind of overpowered, but honestly, I don't think he is. Most of his moves have a lot of knockback, making it easier to DI out of the combo, so it's pretty balanced, I'd say. Maybe I'm biased, but honestly, I don't really care. I could gush about this guy for hours on end. I love Todo, man. Which reminds me, this video's kind of getting a little long, so I'll move on. Before I close out the video with a neat bow, I want to give a few mentions to things that I couldn't reasonably fit anywhere. First off, I made a passing mention to it when I was talking about Cowboy, but there's a technique you can pull off with him called fresh milk. As it turns out, it used to be a bug that competitive players used in tournaments before it got added as a feature. It's now named Drift and is selectable during specific moments when your foresight is active. I actually used it in my live commentary section with Blue during a combo. Speaking of competitive players, by the way, I was surprised with how big the competitive community surrounding this game is. Apparently a while back, Robot was so overpowered that a player named Plebism literally won a really big tournament with Robot to prove that he should be nerfed, and actually seeing that video is what got me into playing this more. Also, because I would never sleep comfortably if I ever forgot to mention this, I'm a really big Friday Night Funkin' fan. I've been playing it for years now, and when I saw that there was an FNF mod of YOMI Hustle called Sonnets of Hustlin', I was kicking and screaming in joy. To this day, I think it's one of, if not the best mods I've ever played. Big thank you to Sunfire for letting me use their songs from the mod during my character explanations. I was so happy when I got their green light to use them because I could not for the life of me find songs that could fit each character. Besides Ninja, but you know, what else am I going to use? Also, my comment on one of the OST videos on YouTube got liked by Sunfire, so it kind of be a crime not to talk about it. Thank you to all members of my Discord. I love talking to you guys and just interacting with you. You guys make my day.
What the fuck?
Special thank you to my best friend for doing a voice line for me. It was just such a shame that Blue couldn't make the deadline on time. Thank you to everyone watching, and an extra big thank you to all of my patrons, Quilly Q, Shine, and Blue Pizza. Give me your money. Once again, please consider subscribing, join my Discord. Take care. Bye.